you're in the passenger seat with me. It is Passenger Seat Radio. August 4th, 2025. You're on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. Yes, I think we're a good week behind on the show, and that's okay because I am loaded with stuff to talk about. It has been an interesting couple of weeks. Let me see if I can get my butt on the highway here, and then we can get busy. Almost rear-ended this guy. He's going onto the on-ramp to the freeway, and he's like half speed. Hey now, who's that? Hey, it's Flair. What's up, man? All right, so let me get on here, and then we'll start telling stories, of which I have many. All right, so let me tell you about vacation. So I had Friday off. My wife and I went to a hotel for Friday and Saturday night. So we do that. We like to get out of the house, get away from the dogs, get away from the kid, and just have sort of like an evening or two to ourselves. So we stayed at our regular hotel, did our regular stuff, and it was great. But I had my XR glasses. I had that Viture XR glasses. I'm going to talk more about that later if we've got time. So Friday I had the day off, and that night we went to the hotel. We stayed in the hotel until Sunday morning. Then we came home. Now, so then Monday was just fine, and Monday was a normal day. Now, Tuesday was the day off. It was my vacation day, but somebody at work guilted me into coming in for 2 hours, right? And I said, if it's that important to you, I will come in. And so, what a mess Tuesday was. Okay, so here's how it started. I didn't have to go in first thing in the morning. I didn't have to be there until 9:45, which was great. It means I got to sleep in almost like a day off, right? And then I had to be there for a couple of hours, and then good to go. So I slept in, right? Got up about 8 o'clock, right? Took a shower, got work clothes together, yada, yada, yada. And then about 8:45, 8:50, somewhere in there, I started putting my crap together, put my keys in my phone, because I haven't been at work in like almost a week. So I go looking for my car keys. So I'm looking for my badge. Where's my badge? I've got my badge. I was looking for my badge, which was in my bag, and I was looking for my car keys. Couldn't find my car keys. Now I have to leave by 9:15 to get to work and be there by 9:45. This is the timetable I'm on. And it's now like 5 minutes to 9. I've got no car keys. So I'm like, where the hell could my car keys be? I mean, I always put them in the same spot. It's almost impossible for my car keys to be missing. I have no clue what's going on. So now the timer is set. Can he find his keys in the next 20 minutes? More importantly, what happens if he can't find his keys in time, right? So I look outside, and my son's car is not in front of the house. So it's like, fuck, okay. Well, so much for borrowing the kid's car or having him run me to work, right? So that's out. So now I'm desperate. I have thrashed the house for like 20 minutes trying to find my keys. Can't find them anywhere. Missing. And now I'm in panic mode. I'm in complete panic mode. So now I'm like, okay, I guess I could take an Uber to work. Cost me $25 fucking to go in on my day off. But, I guess I'll do it. So now I've got my finger over the Uber button, right? I've got everything typed in. I'm ready to push the button for the Uber. And I'm like, God damn it, my keys have to be here. So 5 more minutes. I'm chasing around. It's like, fuck, I push the button on the Uber. So, 7 minutes. I had to pay extra to get him here within 7 minutes, right? That's how Uber works. And so now I'm pissed, right? I'm pissed that, 1, I'm going to work on my vacation day. 2, that somebody guilted my ass into coming. which wasn't right of them to do. And I can't find my keys. So I'm in complete, like, total Hulk out mode at this point. I'm stressed as shit. So I grab, so even while I'm waiting for the Uber, I'm still looking for my keys. And I'm tearing through my backpack that I take to work. You know, my laptop's in there. And finally, it's like, I gave up. It's like, okay, fine. The Uber's here in 2 minutes. Just go. So I'm all pissed off. I grab my backpack. I run outside and get in the Uber. And we start to go. We're probably 7 minutes into the trip. And I'm getting ready to I'm getting my badge out and all that shit. No badge. When I was rummaging through my backpack, my badge fell out of the bag. So now I have no badge either. So now not only do I have no car, no keys, I got no badge, and I'm going to be cutting this to the wire because I waited to the last second to get the Uber. So about $30 later, I'm at work. I go in, and the person that guilted me, I walked over to her office, and I looked at her and I said, "This better be good. This better be good." And she's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, you should have seen, I wish I could have seen the look on my face. It was not pleasant. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she goes, "I sent you an email last week saying you didn't have to come because you're on vacation." And I said, "This is bullshit. I did not get an email. And nobody told me that I didn't have to come in. I lost my car keys. I Ubered in here. I lost my badge. I lost my keys. I'm not in a good mood. And then I come in here and you tell me I didn't even have to be here." Oh man, that was just fuck off. I mean, I was just in such a bad mood. It's like, well, you're already here. You might as well stay. And so I stayed for the couple-hour presentation. And then by then I was able to reach my son, who, by the way, was home. But he decided not to park in front of the house that night. On Monday night when he got home, he didn't park in front of the house. He parked in front of the neighbor's house. So I could have rousted his ass and made him take me to work or borrowed his car. But, you know, as fate would have it, my Tuesday had to just completely suck. So anyway, got done with that. He came and picked me up. We went and had lunch. That was kind of nice. Brian and I had Subway for lunch. And so that was my Tuesday. And you know what I did? I said, fuck it, I'm taking another day off. And I put in for Wednesday off. And I took Wednesday off too. So yeah, there you go. All right, let's see. Losing anything? Yeah, I can't read and drive at the same time. Let me put on the automatic cruise control here and see if I can let's see, live chat. Hello to everybody who's in here. There's a lot going on here. Hello, Governor. How is low testosterone linked to not having morning wood? Absolutely. Low testosterone fucks up the pump downstairs. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. So if you have low testosterone, you need to start looking into getting some boner pills, because the boner pills will help counter that. So yeah, there's a whole plethora of pills you can take to handle the old boner problem. And there's, I'll tell you where you need to look is, you can reach out to me offline because I don't have my resources right here in front of me. But there's two big ones, right? There's the Viagra and the Cialis. Those are the two big ones. But they're not the best of breed anymore. There's other stuff out there, and they will make you a compound version of the boner pill. It's amazing shit. Not only it gives you both short and long-term solutions, right? So Viagra is good for short-term, and Cialis is good for long-term, but neither one of them are good for the other thing, right? So not only can you get both of those in the same compound, they also throw in a little arousal action. So you can actually buy this shit, this specially made compound. It ain't cheap, but you can buy this special compound that combines both. It's magic. So yeah, there is that. Oh yeah, so that was my Tuesday. Wednesday I did nothing. I did absolutely fucking nothing. So let me tell you what happened over the weekend. So sometime, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, I noticed that my toilet was running. You know how that happens? Your toilet, you can hear the water kind of passing through all the time. I wasn't super concerned about it because that toilet's really low flow. It takes forever to fill the tank, so I thought I had some time. So Sunday, the city of Glendale shows up, and they're reading my meter, but they're reading everybody else's meter, so I didn't think anything of it. They come up and they say, yeah, this is kind of a courtesy visit. We notice you've used like 5 times more water in the last 2 weeks than you did in the last 2 months, and we're concerned that you may have a problem. And of course I played dumb. I didn't tell them I had a leaky toilet that I just didn't bother fixing. I said, oh no, I'll take a look at that. Thank you. Can't wait for the water bill. It's probably going to be like $800. But yeah, so plumbing and I know this is going to sound crazy. In the Navy, I was a machinist mate. The machinist mates work on valves, piping, compressed air, hydraulics. Should be right in my wheelhouse, right? Spent 7 years doing this shit. But when it comes to home plumbing, fucking forget it. It never works out. It never works out. And of course, I don't want to pay a plumber, right? Because you know the plumber's going to charge me $300 to fix the fucking toilet, right? So I don't want the plumber to do it. So actually this was Saturday. I'm sorry, it wasn't Sunday. It was Saturday. So on Saturday, after the guy came by and told me I'd wasted a shitload of water, I went ahead and I went to Home Depot and I bought a float valve. Now I know what you're going to say, Shane, that's the easiest fucking thing on the whole toilet to change out. Super easy. You shouldn't have waited. Easy peasy. Even you can't fuck that up. So I went there, and now the toilet that's in question here, this toilet is fucking ancient, and we keep this toilet because it's so old. It has like no EPA guidance on it. So when this thing flushes, it's like a fucking tsunami taking your shit down. You know what I'm saying? So we're not changing this toilet out, but it's also so fucking old, I was concerned about being able to get the right parts for it. So I'm sitting here taking pictures and shit because I'm going to go to Home Depot and say, listen, I need a replacement for this valve. Because you can tell because you bring the float up and it doesn't stop the water, right? So it's the float valve. So anyway, so I go to Home Depot and I'm looking at them, and there's a couple other guys looking at toilet shit too. And I meet this guy, and he's there with his plumber, and they're picking out his toilet float valve. So we strike up this conversation, and he's like, hey, listen, there's only one of them that has a metal threaded connector at the bottom. You want to use that. Don't use the plastic, yada, yada, yada. Had this great conversation. And I said, yeah, a plumber's like the one thing I don't have on the payroll, right? I got a handyman. I've got a mechanic. I've got like everything covered, but plumbing I don't have. And so he gives me his card. He says, if you need any plumbing work, or you need help with that or something, let me know. And I said, well, it should be pretty easy, but we'll see. Never easy at my house. So I go home, shut the water off, drain the toilet, yada, 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 the whole bit. I can't get the thing put back together without a leak. And this always fucking happens. Every time I do home plumbing, something is fucked up. So I spent 3 hours writhing around on the floor. Okay, wait. Okay. So we've got a bidet on that toilet. So there's a bidet valve. Okay, let me paint you a picture. So coming out of the bottom of the toilet is the connector for the float valve or the fill valve, whatever they call it. Underneath that is a T connector. One little water line goes off to the bidet, and the other goes to the main water line. So there's a T in there. So technically, that's 1, 2, 3 different connections that I could fuck up. Okay, so I pull the old one out. Oh, I guess I'm not going to pull the old one out because I don't have a tool to get the big ring off the bottom of it. Well, isn't it hand tight? No, it's not hand tight. It's cranked on there, and I can't get it off. It will not come off. I do not have the right tools. It's a horrible angle. There's no room to work in there. You know what I had to do? I swear to Christ, here's exactly what I had to do. I had to get a drywall knife and cut the plastic ring off the bottom of the bad float valve. And there's no room. When I was done with all of that, those hours of work, I was pouring with sweat. I hurt everywhere, and I still couldn't get it to stop leaking. That wasn't the original problem. Everything was fine except for the connector going to the float. And it wouldn't go. I mean, I put a fucking gasket in there. I put Teflon tape in there. It would not stop weeping water. So I'm like, fuck it. I am so tired. I mean, 3 hours of writhing around on the floor and contorting your ass to get behind that toilet. It was fucking miserable. So I finally said, you know what, honey, I'm sorry. We're gonna have to fold, and we're gonna call a plumber, because I can't make this work, and it's making me mental, and I've had enough. So I called the guy, and he says he could come over, and then it turned out that his job ran long, so he couldn't come over till Sunday. But he came over, and yeah, he had a problem too. But eventually, shaved the story off a little bit. Eventually, he got it working, and I now once again have a working toilet off the master bedroom. And believe me, this makes the wife extraordinarily happy. So anyway, so that was the toilet story. Now, I woke up on Sunday like I was crippled. My glutes were on fire. I don't know how my glutes were on fire, but they were. I assume from wrestling around on the floor or doing whatever. I was goddamn miserable. I couldn't move. I was chewing ibuprofen, yada, yada, yada. Complete mess. I'm still sore today. Not as bad, but I mean, I can feel it. I'm all stiff and shit. Getting old blows monkey butt, man. I mean, I could do a 4-hour martial art tournament and not feel like this. And I was just trying to get my goddamn float valve changed on the toilet. So anywho, that was my Saturday and Sunday. That was my weekend. Yeah, yay. So let's see. So that's that. The next event coming up is my son and I are going to get ELO tattoos. So ELO is something that means Electric Light Orchestra, right? Jeff Lynne, for those of you who don't know. So we're going to get ELO tattoos on Thursday. So that's the next big event to do. So we're excited about that. My poor son in his car. Oh my God. So for those who might have missed out, he bought a 2006 Toyota Highlander, private seller, $3,700, and I'll tell you what, that poor kid, man. So the battery's supposedly only 2 months old, but it's not dead, but it's on its way dead. So he had to buy a new battery. He's got some weird engine light that's on he can't figure out. He doesn't think that the gas gauge is working accurately, right? He's like, how can I use that much gas? And I'm saying, I'm hoping you're not using that much gas. But, I taught him how to, actually get his actual miles per gallon, not just what the dashboard tells him. So he's been having interesting problems with that. Poor kid. But hey, welcome to car ownership. Everybody should have a turn at that. So yeah, that's sort of a catch up of what was going on. I had some other shit. I don't know if I can. Crap. I don't know if I could bring up my keep list. I should have printed out a list. I had a whole list of stuff. I did finally pick up the Dungeons and Dragons electronic game. Not the little LCD one, but the tabletop with the grid that you move your little character along and you have to find the gold and hunt the dragon and shit. Pretty cool. It's been sitting down at Triforce Games downtown for like 2 years. And, online they're about 50 or 60 bucks. I think the one I saw was like 53 plus $15 shipping. So they were asking 45 bucks for it. It's missing a couple of pieces, but none of the big pieces. So one of the good friends of the show is going to 3D print me a couple of replacements, so that's pretty damn cool. So that was one thing I did pick up over my holiday. That was fun. So I've got, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes left here. Let's talk about the glasses. For those of you who did not watch my full review of the XR glasses, the Viture Pro glasses, XR glasses Pro, whatever. So we get a lot. So what started this whole XR glasses shit was on Reddit, people ask a lot about using XR glasses with the Steam Deck. And of course, the whole secret sauce of this is the XR glasses use a USB-C DP alt connection. Easy peasy. Steam Deck supports it. Plug it into the top, glasses turn on, good to go. However, the Steam Deck won't charge when the glasses are plugged in because you're using the only port. And there are zero is a number of Steam Deck docks that you can have that support USB-C DP alt. So what you have to do is there's like three items on the market that handle this for you. And Nubia makes one called the Red Magic dock adapter, I think they call it. And essentially you plug that into the Steam Deck. It's got two ports on it, one for the glasses, one for power. Everybody's taken care of. So we get a lot of discussion about how do I use my glasses and power the Steam Deck at the same time. So that's where this sort of interest in these glasses came up. And so I would constantly ask, so I would answer, right? So here's what you're looking for. You're looking for this Nubia Red Magic thing. But why? I don't get the deal. I don't get what the big deal is. And it's and the answers vary, right? Like why people want to do that. Because it's a huge screen and I can read all the text. Now I buy it. I get that, right? Because if you're playing on, a little tiny screen, it can be hard to see text. And if you're playing something like, I don't know, city skylines or whatever it is, I can see where a bigger screen would be better. But I couldn't quite grasp. And then I started thinking, well, maybe this is something I should be looking at. Seems to be a lot of interest, be good for the channel. And so about a year ago, I was looking at these glasses, and you're talking $500. Now, I am a meager, humble channel. $500 is more than I make in a month off of Amazon and YouTube combined. So I don't think I'll be getting any XR glasses. However, this came back up again, and I went looking, and I found these Viture Pro glasses on Amazon, and at the time they were going for $380, and I'm like, well, shit, $380 I might be able to swing. And worst case scenario, I'll get them, review them, I'll ship them back. But I've kind of gotten a taste for them. And I'll explain why. Because this is something that you can't see in a video. You can't tell unless you've used it yourself. But I'll do what I can. So yes, there is the concept of having a 135-inch TV in front of you. Now, if you were part of the early days of VR, like the Oculus Rift or the Quest or even the Quest 2, you know but the displays aren't very good. They're not very good. They've got, the chromatic aberration around the edges, all that shit, right? So it doesn't look all that great. These glasses are these are 1080p OLED 4000 nit images. And because you're not using the distorted lenses like you would for VR, almost the entire picture is crystal clear. No screen door effects, no pixelizations. It is clean as hell. Totally blew my head. It's like, holy shit, this has come a long way. Now I'm thinking, okay, this is pretty cool. It's got there's speakers built into the arms of the glasses, right? And so they fire around your ear. They're okay, nothing extraordinary. Certainly not like the Index, the Valve Index's firing speakers, but they're pretty good. And I started thinking to myself, okay, what could I use these for? Okay, Steam Deck, okay, great. I can play Overwatch on a 135-inch screen. But I got $380. I got to be able to do better than that, right? So I started thinking about it. And it's like, okay, what about 3D? There's two separate lenses here. Could I watch 3D movies on this? The answer is, yes, you can. And if you use the right software and the right encoding and all that shit, it looks pretty damn good. And it's got something called immersive 3D. This is their big selling point. You can get 3D out of any 2D image or video. That's the claim. Using our AI power. Swear to God, everything's AI. Pencils, school pencils are now AI. You know, number 2 AI pencil. Shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of hearing about AI. But anyway, so the idea is that with AI, you can generate 2D pictures and video in real time, no conversion. And it all does it like right inside the glasses. And it probably works pretty well. Unbelievably so. There's a few finicky things about it, but overall it's pretty good. But being able to be in a private screening room, that's what it is. That's forget about the XR and the graphics overlay and the VR and all that shit. Fuck all that. Fuck the 3 degrees of freedom, blah blah blah. Forget about all that. Being able to have a private movie studio strapped to your face that has no compromise. In other words, the image is crisp, clear, bright, right? I'm going to pull off over here before I get too close to my Wi-Fi at my house. You can have a private viewing. And so for those people who want to be in the living room with their family, but the wife's watching shitty TV and you want to watch your own TV, but you still want to be present, right? So you got the glasses on. You can still see her out of the peripherals. You're watching this big giant screen in front of you. You're hearing your show. She can't hear it. And I really took it to the test when we went on vacation to the hotel that I was talking about earlier. So for those 2 days, I was able to lay right next to her on the bed, right? While she watched her ad-ridden fucking shitty broadcast TV. And I was able to literally lay on the bed, play Overwatch. I could watch my own TV, watch Plex, watch my Plex server, no ads, no interruptions, no bullshit. And I could lay right next to her and not disturb her and still be able to be right there and present. And I'm thinking, if I could have that for flying, if I flew more, if I traveled a lot, right? Now for me, we go to the hotel a bunch of times a year, but it's not like long. I'm thinking to myself, like when we went to Disneyland for 5 days, right? The only thing you wanted to do when you got back from Disneyland was veg out and then go to sleep. Now, when you have you, your wife, your son, and his friend all crammed into this cheap little room right across the street from Disney, who gets to watch the TV? You know, the kids are being loud and obnoxious. The wife's got the TV, yada, yada, yada. You know, you're thinking, I'm just going to lay on the bed and just watch my shit. And it works. And it works. So to me, the private screening is the real key, right? Private screening, private gaming. For people who have a Steam Deck, for example, or a handheld console, you can lay back in bed, keep the thing on your lap while you're laid back on the bed playing, and you can have your hands nice and comfy. You don't have to hold up like this or anything. You can just sit here and play through the goggles. It's great. And then finally, for me, the 3D is pretty cool because I do have a decent little 3D movie collection. And now that I'm sort of out of the VR business, I have no way to really watch them. Now I do for these glasses. So that was so I came to that decision gate where I said, am I going to send them back? Nah, let's keep them. I'm sure I can get enough use out of them. And before anybody asks, yes, they are good for other stuff. I'll let you make up your own determination as to what I'm talking about. That's going to do it for me. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Shane R. Monroe, Pastor C Radio. We'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.